Hello, hello, everyone.
Greetings, humans. I don't know why I said that. It's just something I always wanted to say.
Well, I'm glad I could fill that wish for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we are back on 428 Shibuya Scramble. Lemur can't be here again tonight, unfortunately. We'll see you when the next time she's on is. Just going through some stuff right now. So, we will be doing 428 until pretty much further notice. Or really, instead of further notice, because I probably will forget to notify people until you log on and realize that's not what we're playing anymore. Anyways, let's get to it. So our recap from last time, Kanan, Tateno, and Osawa are going to the lab to save Maria. Alfred will spread the virus if Kano, Achi, and Stanley don't arrest him at the scramble and get the password. Achi wants SOS to help. Yeah. Minorikawa and Chiaki finally got all of the articles after Katayama watched SOS beat us up and gave us a chance. Yeah, Katayama, I'd like to point out, Katayama manufactured possibly another time for them to beat him up. We just,
it's like, you have exactly 0.1 seconds to get beat up, then we gotta keep moving.
We just got lucky that Kimizuka was their teacher. Sexy taxi driver for the win.
Oh yeah, in this house we stand sexy taxi
We
driver.
think he's very sexy.
Yeah, nothing sexier than a man with confidence for sure.
Alright, Osawa and Minorikawa's stories have ended, bringing us back to only having our original 2 playable characters unless we make the right choices and unlock the jump to another 2 characters in this last time block. That's spoilers, but I'll allow it. Alright. Yeah. So, let's see. Looks like we got Achi. Let's see. What's this jump to? Ooh, we have a jump for Achi.
Oh, hey, let's
see if this unlocks it. Katayama is still so pretty. He's very pretty.
He's the Bishonen we always wanted and needed.
Alright, let's see if this unlocks it. Da-da-da-da!
Woo!
Alright. The door opened and the other lookout returned.
Wow, we're off to a great start. Suzumu says to come on in.
Achi nodded and strode inside. The scent of alcohol and cigarettes washed over him. Susumu sat on the sofa at the far end of the bar. It was where Achi used to sit back in the day.
What do you want?
Susumu asked immediately. Achi walked up to him and then got down on his hands and knees.
Huh? What are you doing down there? Hell's that all about?
I need people to bring a guy down. I'm here to ask for your help. The crowd around him flew into an uproar. Peals of mocking laughter rang in Achi's ears. I know I have no right to ask you this, but please, I really need your help. Oops.
Just some guy, huh? Who?
He's an international terrorist trying to get his hands on some wonder drug for a killer virus. If we don't catch him, somebody I know is going to die. And that's not all. He might try to unleash the killer virus here in the city. I think I forgot to get water before this stream. That's fine. Susumu burst out laughing.
This some kind of joke? You all right in the head there, Achi?
The other gang members followed his lead, unleashing another storm of mockery. The laughter continued for quite some time.
It's okay. It's not like we're, pressed for time or anything.
No, of course not. Alright, are we going to snap at them to shut their damn mouths, or... Please, Mr. Susumu.
Please, Susumu-chan. Please.
Please?
Please and thank you.
Alright, what do you want to do?
Definitely B, because if we make him angry, then he's not gonna want to do it, because he's the type of person where if you tell him, if you get aggressive, then all he wants to do is fight you. He's that kid.
Achi said nothing. He endured the ridicule and simply stared up at Susumu. As patiently as he could, he waited for Susumu to give the proverbial nod. Finally, the laughter subsided, and Susumu crouched down and got in Achi's face.
Is that how you're gonna go about asking someone a favor?
Susumu growled menacingly.
You got a problem?
If you have a problem with me kowtowing like this, I can apologize some other way, all you want. But don't you care that I just told you Shibuya is in danger? Achi's voice was unwavering. But face it, Susumu, isn't Shibuya the reason everyone here hangs out with each other? If you're telling me you don't want to keep our town safe, then I won't ask you guys for anything again. I withdraw my request. The two glared into each other's eyes.
Wow, this is some intense, right? This is some intense shit. Look at him being like, I ship it.
Then, before Susumu could reply, an odd man stepped in between them.
That's nice. Now, I mean, sounds like you got an interesting story,
he said.
Mind letting me hear it too? Ah? Oh, you again. Didn't you already get your interview?
Susumu rolled his eyes.
I think Grovels here might be telling the truth.
The newcomer's face was all seriousness.
It lines up with the information I have. Hey, Grovels, you got a second?
My name's not Grovels, Achi growled. It's Achi.
Grovels it is. I'm Minorikawa, magazine reporter, and I know a bit about the stuff you were just saying just now. Killer virus you mentioned is called the Wa virus. That wonder drug is an antiviral medication, and the person you know who might die is Mario Osawa. Right? Number 8. Huh? Mm-hmm.
Achi was almost too shocked for words. How do you know all that? Because he was a protagonist too, it's fine. You know, we're on the protagonist wavelength, you know.
Oh, yeah. The protag.
Mm-hmm. Minorikawa ignored him and turned to the SOS leader.
Susumu,
he said.
Something really is going down in Shibuya. What are you gonna do about it, boss?
Susumu bit his lip. He looked pretty conflicted.
That's good to me.
Someone called out.
Give him my hand.
Thank you. Never mind. I don't like you.
Oh, fuck.
Achi turned to see where the voice had come from. It was Kiryu.
Hey, you shut up,
Susumu said with a glare.
Right, Gata, you're right, old man.
Kiryu sneered.
I can hear us right. Isn't keeping our beloved Shibuya safe that what SOS does?
He slipped an arm around Achi's shoulders.
Oh god, that's creepy.
Yeah, can we not?
This is not creepy as it was, not gonna lie.
I need an adult, even though we're all adults in here.
Right, I need an adult help. You okay with that, right, Achi? You going against Susumu's orders to help you out?
Kiryu's lips pulled back in a broad, unsettling grin.
Oh no, he looked like the Grinch. First, we have unfinished business, you and I. I mean, I'm willing to lend a hand even though you ditched the gang and all. But first, we gotta settle our score here and now. You understand, don't you?
Yeah, you're right. Kiryu grinned hungrily. I need an adult, please. Let's stop.
It's guillotine time!
A bunch
Whatever
of
that
the
means.
gang members started up an eager clamor at Kiryu's pronouncement. In a matter of moments, Achi was grabbed from all sides and hoisted up onto a pool table. A dozen young men held down his arms and legs, positioning him so that his head jutted out past the table's edge.
What the fuck?
Can we not?
This is not what we're doing right now, bitch.
Kiryu brought out a steel pipe nearly a meter long. It was caked liberally with dried blood. Yeah, Minorikawa's blood is probably on there somewhere. It's fine.
This is so unsanitary, guys.
Ugh.
Guillotine. 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 I knew those was coming. Guillotine. Guillotine times 11.
The men of Kiryu's faction pumped their fists in the air, chanting madly. Kiryu flicked his lips as if drunk off their cheers. Can we, like, not do this? Speaking.
Not today. Bitch.
Glancing to one side, Achi saw Minorikawa speaking emphatically to Susumu. It looked like the reporter was trying to talk some sense into the SOS leader. Yeah, Susumu, are you just going to let them behead me with a fucking metal pipe? Can we not?
What? This here screen cap will haunt me for days.
I hate this.
Man, today's my lucky day. I get to take the head of SOS's original head.
Achi twisted his neck up to peer at him. Man, what point is there in taking my head right now?
Revenge, bitch. Oh my. Bye by NSYNC. Okay, no. You don't get it, do you? See, if I send you to the hospital, everyone in Shibuya is gonna know my name. And once I got that big ass sign over my head, I'll be able to untie this town under my banner in one fell swoop.
Kiryu's eyes were crazed and bloodshot.
AKA, I'm cray cray.
Then that's all the more reason for you to do what I'm asking. If you want to unite Shibuya, you have to protect it first. But if you think you need to take my head in order to do that, then go right ahead. Yeah, Achi, no!
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 And don't say right ahead. No more head.
Yeah, no.
No.
Bad time for a pun. Let's not do this. Even if these guys were all like Kiryu, if this many of them actually showed up at the Scramble, they'd be able to do far more than Achi could help to do by himself. The ultimate goal was to capture Alfred. Achi didn't care how they made that happen. He was just sorry he wouldn't get to see it through. To protect Hitomi to the very end. Okay then, Kiryu brayed. The gloves are coming off. Alright, are we going to tell him to just, like, fucking do it? Or do we just want to go, wait a second, I've changed my mind.
No, obviously we fought to survive. Actually, you need your head if you want to get that kiss from Hitomi.
Exactly!
We need that kiss, damn it. Wait, Chad is saying A? Why? Why are we saying A?
What would you like to do?
Damn
Do you
it.
trust the chat?
I don't know if I trust the chat on this one because I'm scared. Okay. Well, okay. Say hypothetically we go with A.
Mm-hmm.
Who is gonna stop us? Like Minorikawa? Like Katayama?
I mean, there's only like 35 people in this entire room. I feel like someone's got to have a come to Jesus moment.
Yeah. Jesus. Okay. Jesus, take the wheel.
This is possibly the most witnesses in a room for a murder that I've ever seen.
I guess fucking A. I guess we're gonna trust Jesus.
All right, go on, do it. Achi braced himself. Just make sure you keep your promise. Kiryu raised the steel pipe high above his head, and then, before he brought it down, he flicked the tip of his tongue from his mouth like a snake.
I hate this. Too easy. You dumbass! I didn't promise you nothing!
Achi strained in sudden panic, but his limbs were pinned down too forcefully for him to have any hope of avoiding what was to come. So you saved me?
Jackie say something. Oh shit!
But the steel pipe never struck home. Just when it was about to smash into Achi's head, Susumu grabbed hold of it.
Well, thank God it was him. Hell you doing? Enough of this crap, Kiryu.
Susumu yanked the pipe away from Kiryu's grasp and tossed it onto the floor. Kiryu stood frozen in surprise. A vein pulsed angrily in his forehead.
You guys too!
Susumu added, glaring at the others.
Let him go.
The tops holding Achi down cautiously took their hands away. Kiryu let out a red-faced cry of rage.
Ah! But we got unfinished business!
Ignoring him, Susumu helped Achi slide off the table.
I'm an angry little boy. Anyway, every man gets to make one request in his life that cannot be denied. Do you remember saying that?
The words stirred up some bitter memories within Achi. Yeah, I remember.
But you didn't grant me my request.
No, I guess not.
That's why I'm gonna. That's why I'm going to heed yours. No questions asked.
Susumu held out his right hand. Susumu, you are?
So my teacher came over the other day. I don't want to make him proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a rep to keep with Teach. You know, he's the cool one.
I will say, Susumu has had a hell of a last half hour.
Oh yeah, like damn. That'll make me the better man. Finally.
Achi reached out and clasped Susumu's hand in his. Yeah, Achi said, letting his relief show on his face. You're quite the guy.
Now, kid, no.
Now we're back to being besties. It's fine.
Yeah.
Susumu cracked a tiny grin. It was the sort of smile Achi had seen all the time back when he'd run with SOS. Ouch. That hurt. Suddenly, Susumu staggered and dropped to the floor, falling too fast even to cry out. Kiryu had snatched the steel pipe back from the floor, striking Susumu from behind once his back was turned.
To hell with this!
He howled like a madman.
SOS doesn't belong to you guys. Not anymore. I won't allow it.
Achi didn't flinch. SOS doesn't belong to anyone, he said. It's not mine, it's not Susumu's, and it isn't yours. We're just a bunch of friends hanging out and having a good time. That's the only reason we get together. Nothing more, nothing less. He turned and looked slowly around the room. Hey, you guys! Do y'all get together because someone told you to assemble? Do you get together to follow someone's orders? No, you don't. Of course you don't. The bar fell silent. Achi could see the young men who surrounded him exchanging glances. They could tell that his words rang true. Kiryu saw it too, and it only made him more and more agitated.
Shut up, and I'm with the warm fuzzies.
Abruptly, he charged forward, giving the steel pipe a mighty swing. Achi managed to dodge the attack by a mere hair. If it had connected, the blow might well have knocked his head clean off. He quickly backed away.
What's the matter?
Kiryu taunted.
Come all you do is run!
The pipe crashed down on the bar top. Bottles of beer and liquor smashed and scattered.
Someone please punch the daylights out of this one.
Yeah, can we, I'd like to phone a friend,
Right. Come on, what's the matter, Achi?
Kiryu slammed his weapon into the pool table, sending balls scattering across the floor. Some of them collided with Susumu.
What?
Susumu let out a faint groan. Yeah, he's probably not feeling so great right now.
I hate.
Smirking at the sound, Kiryu stalked toward him.
Chiaki, use headbutt. Yeah.
You're really... Chiaki, eat the pipe.
Eat the... Oh god. Can you imagine? I don't think that one will go down as smoothly as the paper did.
Yeah.
You never know.
She's already going to be in pain from that paper, you know, like...
Oh yeah. Speaking of unfinished business...
With a gleaming grin, Kiryu took aim at Susumu's head, lifting the pipe up high. Stop! Before he could think better of it, Achi was rushing for his fallen friend. We are buddies now, you can't get out of this!
You dumbass.
Without missing a beat, Kiryu shifted his weight and swung the steel pipe at Achi's temple. Oh no.
No!
Achi responded with a fast high kick with his right leg.
I'm so proud of this man.
The steel pipe connected hard with his shin, but it was Kiryu who went reeling off balance. Kya!
Thank you, Achi. Damn.
Achi pivoted and put all his might into a straight right to Kiryu's jaw. The blow struck home. Kiryu's head snapped back and he crumpled onto the floor. There was a momentary hush of indrawn breath. Then the bar erupted in a wild clamor that practically shook the whole building. All eyes were fixed on Achi, marveling at what they had just seen go down. Take that, bitches.
Wow, that's what a leader looks like. Damn. Huh. Sounds like folks were hoping for a little more of a fight.
Susumu got to his feet, his left hand clutching his right shoulder. You alright? Achi asked.
Mostly. Guess my shoulder took the blunt of the blow. Wow.
The gang members from Kiryu's faction rushed to their unconscious leader's side. Achi shot them a steely glare, and they gathered up Kiryu and dragged him out of the bar.
Man, I wish you told me we're here to see me like this.
I know, like we were cool for once.
Right? Damn.
I didn't go too far here, did I? Achi asked Susumu. Is this gonna cause trouble for you?
Nah, figured Kiryu would pull something like this eventually. Just a question of when.
Right.
Anyway, let's leave him on the floor and go.
Yeah.
Like we usually do.
It's fine.
I'm sure he's gonna gather up his own bunch after this. He'll probably wind up bustling heads again.
Susumu didn't sound especially eager for that fight, but he didn't sound especially afraid of it either. Achi was still worried about a few things, but his friend had clearly grown as a leader.
Anyhow, back to the story about you needing some manpower. Will the guys here be enough?
There were around 30 gang members still in the bar. Achi looked each of them in the eye in turn. Some he knew from back in the day, while others were fresh faces.
Let's draw on his face with a marker, like a Jigglypuff. What? I guess. I was born and raised in this town. One of the friends I met here.
Oh, I think this is me. I'm trying to figure out
wait,
who it is.
Yeah, who is this actually?
I'm pretty sure this is me, because today I met someone who's very special to me, so I assume that's who told me.
Oh yeah, this is the lovey guy.
I was born and raised in this town. I'm fond of the friends I've met here, and this has always been a great place to have a good time. And today, right here in this town, I met someone who's very special to me. And I know this doesn't involve the rest of you, but I'm willing to protect her. Achi knew he wasn't doing a great job of getting to the point, but the members of SOS listened quietly. And so, it's like, he felt like a grade schooler who didn't know the answer to a difficult question. He fussed with his hair and frowned sheepishly. Okay, so I'm not sure how to really put this, but Shibuya is a special town to me because of getting to meet people like that. And maybe, no, I mean, it's like that for you guys too? Don't you love Shibuya? So help me help this town. He bowed low and deep. I want to protect this girl who means so much to me, and the city that means so much to me as well.
Ooh, I just got a girlfriend. Can you imagine them being like, "Oh, yeah."
Believe me, if there wasn't this whole background thing of, like everyone's possibly going to die in an hour and a half, I am sure that every single one of them would be teasing him right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Also, we're all gonna die if you don't help me.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I know my answer.
Susumu clapped a hand on Achi's shoulder.
Yeah! Listen up, everyone! SOS's original founder is back in action and he needs our help. And I, for one, am ready to follow him into battle. What do you say?
Susumu's people let out a hearty cheer.
What team? Wildcats! Okay.
Okay, this isn't High School Musical.
Oh, wait. SOS and Achi, girls sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. Ah! Okay, that's them. Immature as fuck. Anyway.
When Achi marched back to his home, followed by 30 members of his old gang, Hitomi and Kano were obviously overjoyed to see him. Their happiness raised his own spirits unexpectedly high. He felt a palpable sense of accomplishment.
Why were they sitting on a tree? Anyway.
All right, detective, Achi shouted. Let's do this. His resounding cry echoed throughout the workroom, and the gang set out for the scramble.
What's the matter?
Hitomi asked Achi as they made their way through the busy streets. What's the matter with what?
Did your old friends say really, really mean things about you? Were they making fun of you?
No, they tried to take my head off.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, wow. That's a cool story, bro. No. You look pretty pale.
She peered good and hard into his face. Do I now?
Are you tired or something? I mean, you kind of been going all out all day long, after all.
Nah, it's nothing. Achi kept his voice nice and bright. I'm just a little hungry is all. So don't worry about me. Or Alfred either, okay? I swear I'll keep you safe, Hitomi.
Alright,
Hitomi gave a tiny nod. Just leave it to me. Alfred's got nothing on this guy.
I'm gonna make you a lunchbox after this.
He thumped his chest in a display of bravado, but he could feel the sweat beading on his brow.
But didn't we eat? I thought we ate.
We
I
did
thought we
eat.
did. Yeah.
It was probably a few hours ago, but
At least they had spaghetti.
yeah. When they reached the Scramble, Achi took his place at the location specified by the battle plan Kano had drawn up. He told me it was only a few meters away. Whatever happened, he was in a good position to shield her from harm. Right back in front of the Hachiko statue.
Aw, yeah.
There were 3 minutes left until the appointed rendezvous. Achi wondered what sort of person was going to show up. Still, he knew he couldn't scan the crowd too much. He needed to act as naturally as possible so Alfred wouldn't be suspicious.
Oh, sus.
He
It's
risked
among us.
He risked a glance over at Hitomi. Maybe now wasn't the time for admiring, but he couldn't help but think how cute she looked. In some ways, seeing her there felt similar to when he'd seen her that morning in the very same spot. The difference was that this time, it wasn't just Hitomi's good looks that made him find her so attractive. They might have only spent a few hours together, but in that time, he'd learned a lot about her as a person. He knew what was important to her, what her worries were, her wants and desires. And also, he'd learned what a kind-hearted person she was. Achi recalled what had happened back in the workroom. Even though her own life had been in danger all day, Hitomi had shed tears for his father and his sister. She really understood people's grief and suffering. What do I do if I can't protect someone as good as her? Achi muttered under his breath, clutching his right leg. His shin was throbbing wickedly where the pipe had smashed against it. He'd been okay walking so far, but any intense fighting and the leg might just give out. But he couldn't let himself worry about that now. If it came down to it, he'd be a human shield to protect Hitomi if he had to.
What a good boy.
He is such a good boy.
We'll get Jollibee for our second date. Yeah. Yeah,
Real
dude.
life Captain Planet right here. Achi looked at his watch. Only 1 minute to go before 7 p.m. He glanced again at Hitomi and saw her eyes widen with surprise. Quickly, he followed her gaze across the plaza. He spotted a tall white man approaching.
Oh, don't tell me.
And we've hit our keep out.
But
Time to go back to Kano.
Is it Stanley? Like, he's white, so I just assumed.
I'd like to point out we've seen a lot of white dudes recently. So
True. But he's white, so like no, just kidding. Let's see then. Wait, this is Kano, right?
Uh-oh.
Wait, what? Nani? Wait, what? Wait, what?
Did we?
What are we missing? Is it Minorikawa? Like, did we do something? Like,
Let's see. That's Minorikawa. Yeah, did we screw up a
Did we
Eh?
choose something incorrectly? Like, oh no.
Oh no, we just haven't. We just didn't see what Kano and them were doing while we were doing the whole SOS thing.
Oh, so we have to see that.
Yeah, so we have to see that before we can move on.
Well then. Okay. This is Kano, right?
This is Kano.
Okay. Achi's protests were vehement, but he backed down at last. Tadano would escort Kanan and Maria to the lab. That left 3 to try to apprehend Alfard, Kano, Stanley, and Achi. Having only 3 people was a dicey prospect, though, so Achi took it upon himself to head out and gather some backup.
Like a good boy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Tachino got the car keys from Daisuke, then helped Kanan pick Maria up off the floor. Kano watched him warily. There was no trace of the blood-curdling expression the older detective had shown when he was holding Maria at gunpoint. His face was that of a man with a responsibility, the Tachino that Kano had always known.
Are
Except
you?
he got a cane now. So,
Yeah. Are you sure you're okay doing this?
Kami asked Tachino.
You might get infected.
That doesn't matter. Don't worry about me. All I care about now is helping you two if I can. He hesitated, glancing down at the unconscious girl he held.
Oh, that's right. This is Tateno. Sorry. By the way, have Maria's memories come back?
Hitomi tilted her head.
Her memories? I suspect she took a blow to the head when she was abducted. When I ran into her earlier, she didn't even know her own name. Well, she seemed like the same sister I've always known when she came in here. Good. Then her memory must have recovered.
Kano was shocked to hear that Maria had suffered amnesia. But explained why she hadn't contacted anyone after she'd been set free.
Yeah, if we just spent like 6 hours in a cat suit and it was a fun time. All
Hell
right
on
then.
earth,
Yeah, really.
Atano said.
We'll be back.
Carrying Maria, he and Kanan headed for the door like Terminator. No, just kidding. Detective Tatano. Kano called out, then paused tongue-tied when Tatano stopped. There was so many things Kano wanted to say. But he couldn't find the words for any of them.
Once Maria is safe, I'll turn myself in.
Tatano kept his back turned. Words were like a dagger in Kano's heart. My idol, no! Anyway, once this was all over, Tatano would no longer be a detective, but a criminal.
I'd like to point out he is still a criminal right now.
Right!
He can just be both at the moment.
Right! Why we can't multitask?
Yeah.
And Kano knew there was no alternative, but still the realization hit him hard. Wow, that's a long one. Detective Tatano,
Stop your dithering.
But
never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever.
dictum number.
Number one. Dictum number one.
Kano's had back to attention to Tato's words of again he said it out loud. I'm fanboying. That was dictum number one. The advice I had really kicked off the whole thing diary.
It's the OG dictum.
Yes.
I'm not the one you should be worrying about right now.
Tatano continued.
We need to save Mario Osawa's life and protect the people of Shibuya.
Kano bit his lip. Yes, sir.
All right. Are we going to put on a brave face, or do we want to express regret for how things turned out for Tateno?
Like, we don't want to, like, rub it in his face or anything, like, you know? Like, yeah, of course he's gonna be regretful at, this, but I feel like A is fine. I
Go
think,
with A?
yeah, I think Kano is probably gonna, like, not make it awkward for him. Yeah. Yes, you're right. Kano did his best to quash his emotions.
Then we're good.
Kano gave a slight nod, then headed out the door. Detective Tatano, I was a good boy, right? Just before the older man disappeared.
All right. Do we want to tell him, be careful out there, or do we want to just... Thank you, sir. Salute him.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Oof. Oh no. Well, of course he's gonna be careful, but let's give him a salute, because we admire.
All right. Aye, aye, Captain.
Aye, aye, Captain. Kano gave him a silent salute. It was a breach of protocol to salute while in plain clothes and without his cap. Still, it was the best way he had to let Tatano know how he felt. I still love you, sir!
I'll leave the rest to you. Tatano
Tatano.
took one last... Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. Tatano took one last look over his shoulder before finally going to the workroom.
We have a Tatano, so...
Nani? Wait, for real? Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, that's... What?
We'll do it afterwards.
What? Okay, even... Oh, okay, well, that's interesting. Even... didn't see that coming. Even after Tatano disappeared from view, Kano remained for a long time at attention. His fingertips pressed to his temple. He squeezed his eyes shut, but still the tears he'd been holding back poured down his cheeks. Oh no! We're devastated!
We are. Things hurt. Very hurty.
There were only 30 minutes remaining until the time when Alfred told him Hitomi should be at Scramble. They need to get ready for action. Prepare for trouble. Make it Okay, is the surveillance camera system still up? Kano asked.
Yes.
Daisuke replied.
It looks like what happened earlier was just a temporary hacking job.
Then will he help us? Daisuke inclined his head.
What do you mean?
Help us. I'd like you to keep an eye on the Scramble for us. If anyone suspicious tries to go near Hitomi, let us know.
Anyone suspicious? How will I know what's suspicious?
You know, probably foreign. No, just like that organ trafficker who suggested you kidnap Hitomi, Mr. Endo. It's possible that he might be Alphard. Would you be able to recognize his face? SK furrowed his brow deeply as he began entering commands on his keyboard.
Yeah, don't think I could ever forget. It's because of him that I...
He left the rest unsaid. Almost killed a bit. No.
Yeah.
A moment later, well, he almost killed a child if you were being honest. Okay.
I mean, let's be honest, like, he just tried to kill his possible son's future girlfriend. So that
Yeah.
doesn't look very good.
Or wife. Oh, yes, we're going there. Anyway.
Yeah, this is a fun thing to talk about the family reunion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, Dad, remember when you, like, almost killed me with a taser? Oh my god, stop bringing up the past.
Yeah, I'm sure
you.
that Kenji Osawa's gonna be real happy to find out that his daughter is dating the son of the dude that tried to kill her, you know?
And also a ex-gang leader.
Yeah, he's
He'll be like, so this is the crowd you hang with.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Is
But
that
Dad-
what you kids are into nowadays? All hip and whatever.
But Dad, he picks up litter.
Oh, okay, then he's great.
He's
He's
good.
alright in my book. Oh yeah, 10 out of 10. Go get married right now. He picks up litter. Wow. Dad, we're disowning you. No, you can't. Anyway, a moment later, several of the monitors switch over to the feeds from around the Scramble.
All right.
SK squinted at the images. Wow.
I'm not sure how much help I can be, but let me at least try to atone for what I've done.
Of course. And thank you. Well, that's a lot of monitors. Daisuke's fingers flew over the keyboard, and soon all of the monitors were focused on the Scramble and its surroundings. Then he carefully adjusted the angle and zoom for each of the cameras. Now the whole area was under total surveillance. All they had to do was get their stakeout crew to the scene. Where did Achi go? Kano asked Hitomi.
I'm not totally sure, but I think he went to find some of his old friends.
Hitomi sounded worried. Friends?
Achi used to belong to a gang called SOS. Actually, he told me he was the one who formed the gang in the first place.
What? Kano couldn't keep the shock from his voice. I thought she was the founder of SOS. How bizarre that the two of them will wind up meeting each other this way.
But I guess there was a big falling out between them, so I think he went to try and win them back over.
Like when you break up with your girlfriend? Okay. Kano hadn't heard anything good about SOS since Achi had left them. if things hadn't ended on bad terms between him and the gang, getting them to help might well be a lost cause. And even if Achi was able to gather some people up, how much would Kano and the others be able to trust them?
It'll be all right.
Hitomi said. She's that one puppy. This is fine, everything's on fire. She's literally doing the same expression too. Obsessing Kano's thoughts.
I'm sure Achi will bring back some of his old friends. And when he does bring them, I'm sure there'll be people we can count on.
You really trust him, don't you?
Yes.
Hitomi said without hesitation. Oh wow, you're in love. Then a blush came to her cheeks. Ooh, woo. Alright then I'll trust him too. It would take about 10 minutes to get from Endo Electronics to the Scramble. Kano turned to Stanley. Let's plan to head out by 6:50 Texas. Stanley gave no reply. Okay. He had withdrawn to the edge of the room, where he stood lost in thought, his expression uneasy. Kano decided to leave him alone for a bit. Taking a sheet of paper from one of the desks, he began drafting a plan for positioning Achi's reinforcements around the Scramble.
Strategy, yeah!
He told me, Dad, he picks up litter, Osawa, which means he's preventing the spread of my beloved virus. Same. Alright, there we go. In about 5 minutes, he had drawn up a little map of the optimal places to deploy the team. It included positions for as many as 20 people Achi might bring back.
But what about 30?
Good thing. 30! Oh!
Ooh.
What if he brings 30? Ooh! Kano turned around, surprised. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's his line. Never mind. Kano turned around, surprised by Stanley right behind him. All of a sudden, the American looked haggard. Something the matter? Kano asked.
You need to go to the Scramble without me.
What? Where's this coming from all of a sudden, Mr. Terminator lookalike? Like, damn.
Please don't ask me to explain. Something else has come up, and I have to see to it.
We bedded on Stanley's brow. Whatever had happened, Kano had no doubt it was something major. Almost certainly, it had something to do with Alphard. Stanley.
All right, we gonna push him to tell us, or do we just trust our bae?
Oh no!
We're putting the bromance to the test.
Ride or die with Stanley. Ah. Okay, to be very honest, knowing Stanley and his personality, even if we asked, I feel like he wouldn't tell us anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he's very stubborn. We can put it that way.
Like, anytime we ask questions, he's like, "Bitch, shut up!" Like,
he didn't tell us he was CIA. We just had to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, so I feel like it's futile anyway. So might as well just pick B. Stanley, bro. Okay, I understand, bro. Do what you have to, and come back soon.
I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you more.
It's alright. I trust you, babe. I'll find a way to get you back. Kano had a vague idea of what Stanley was up to. Probably felt he needed to keep things hidden even from his own allies in order to help keep Alphard in the dark. Or at least, that was Kano's guess. It was no ordinary opponent they were up against. Keeping secrets even amongst friends wasn't necessarily a bad call.
Kano, promise me one thing.
Was that...
Once this is all over, you'll go have a beer with me.
Well...
The bromance is here. It's real.
Well, take me out to dinner first, why don't you? Oh my god. Okay, sure. I mean, are you asking me out on a date, Stanley? Is this what this is? Oh my god. Sure. Alright, I'll go to the prom with you. Kano couldn't help but smile.
That's a promise now, remember.
Oh,
The promise these two made just now mirrors another made by a certain pair of brothers. Once this is all tidied up, I'm gonna need a drink. Let's you and me have a beer together. That was what the younger brother said, and the older brother still feels the pain of that promise going unfulfilled.
Got me for brother.
And we will have a Stanley jump. So.
Oh shit.
A Stanway jump.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, Stanley hurried out of the workroom. Bye-bye.
I miss you.
I promise you, I'll rock you hard with my deep emotion. Kano glanced at his watch. It was coming up on 6:50. Pretty soon they'd have to head for the scramble. But how much time does Midorikawa have for that paper? Damn!
Not much left.
But Achi still hadn't returned. We need to head out soon, he said to Hitomi.
You said 6:50.
She replied.
There's still 2 more minutes to go.
Kano let out a tiny sigh. He shared Hitomi's fervent hope that the reinforcement would come, but not her confidence. If Hachi didn't reappear, Kano would be left to protect Hitomi all by himself, to try to apprehend Alphard as well. Would he be able to pull it off if it came to that?
All right, are we going to head to the scramble without Achi or wait for Achi?
But will Burning Hammer sell enough to save Sasayama in time? Ooh. I feel like we should wait for Achi because I feel like he's literally gonna show up any second now. Maybe? Or, yeah.
Well, we've picked it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not leaving
No.
my boy behind. This
Right.
is Ohana. Ohana means family. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Yes, thank you. Lilo and Stitch. No, he'd never be able to top it on his own. He decided to wait for Achi, accepting that they'd be late. The clock kept up steadily ticking. With each minuscule movement of the second hand, Kano felt the tightness growing in his chest. Minute passed. 2 minutes. Time was out of the essence. They couldn't keep waiting any longer. Now I'm getting anxious. Damn. They told me I don't like having to do this, but I can't wait any longer. Seeing the look of determination on Kano's face, she gave a tiny reluctant nod.
All right, and we have hit the keep out with that, so we can unlock it, or we can go do Tateno's.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Let's see what Tateno's doing.
All right, you want to take Tateno and I'll take Stanley?
Sure. I'll leave the rest to you. Woo!
All right,
Jumpity
and make the
jump! Guess what, guys? I got my own show now. Thanks. Kyozo Tateno gingerly flexed his right elbow. Dramatically. It was still a little sore, but it shouldn't interfere with the ability to drive.
Does that hurt?
The girl called Kanan. Nah, I'm alright.
Good thing I didn't kill you.
He said, her tone of matter of fact.
You ought to thank that younger detective. If he hadn't stopped me, you wouldn't be here right now.
That right?
That is indeed correct.
What an exchange! Tateno looked over at Kano.
Let's be honest, Kanan stabs is a warning.
Oh yeah, that's a warning for her. He was talking to Achi and the others about something. Last time, Tateno had seen Achi and been back at Kotone's wake. Felt a strong surge of emotion, seeing how the boy had grown into a fine young man.
Are you sure you don't mind driving?
Kanan's voice snapped Tateno back in for a moment. Yes, it won't be a problem. Back when she'd attacked him on that rooftop, she'd moved too quickly for him to even get a glimpse of her face. Now that he was able to get a good look at her, she was shocked by how young she looked. Damn, girl, drop your skincare routine. And yet, there was a cold gleam in her eyes, a glitter of awareness with no trace of emotion behind it whatsoever. In his long career as a detective, Tateno had seen
eyes like that before, sorry.
Eyes like that. No, it's fine. Had seen eyes like those before. It was the look. He knew well. The look of someone who had killed and had done so many times.
I'm so sorry about all this. Please look after my sister.
Hitomi said. She bowed deeply. No, I'm the one who should apologize. Tatano would have liked to go on to say that helping now was the least he could do to atone for what he'd done earlier, but he stopped himself right there. Nothing he could say to Hitomi Osawa would possibly earn her forgiveness. Silently, Tatano lowered his head. His subsequent actions would have to make up for his crimes. I'm going to jail. Woo! He had hoped that this was possible.
Kanan, you look after my sister too.
Hitomi bowed once more. You two know each other? Tatano looked at the two girls in surprise.
Kanan is my sister's friend.
Hitomi said.
I just met her for the first time today.
What strange series of events could have transpired for Maria and Kanan to wind up as friends? Tatano felt a prickle of curiosity, but now was no time for that conversation.
All it took was cat's cradle. It's fine.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
And like coffee or something, right?
Yeah.
Daisuke reappeared. He had gone to fetch this car keys.
You know where it's parked, yeah?
Yes. Same as back in the day.
That's right. Over where we always hung out with Kotane back in grade school.
God, it. All it was, Tatano was him with a surge of childhood memories. Oh shit. We're gonna have a flashback. Oh yeah, we're having a flashback. The sky was a piercing blue. The droning of cicadas echoed in the ears. A refreshing breeze brought intermittent respite from the heat. During summer vacation, they spent their days here in the parking lot behind Daisuke's house. Well, that looks good. Asashino and Daisuke played near the stairs at the side of the lot. The blazing sun beating down on them, Kotone would always come along with some iced barley tea for them. Two boys would race to see who could drink up the fastest. Wow. Everything's a competition, isn't it?
It is.
Wow. The cold and fragrant tea flowed down their welcoming throats. Most of the time, it was Tatano who would finish first. Daisuke often wound up choking and spitting his out. Bruh, just enjoy the barley tea, damn.
Nah.
It's always a competition. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Tatano would flash him a motherly and sympathetic smile. Next time we race to drink melon soda, God, I hope.
Oh god, it's too sweet to do that with.
You would cry, probably, real
Ugh.
tear. Then Daisuke would grin back at her sheepishly and fuss with his hair. That had been all nearly 40 years ago, but Tatano could envision their smiles as vividly now as ever. They were his only fond memories of his childhood. Well, that's kind of sad. If that's the only ones, damn. Tatano took the keys from Daisuke, clutching them firmly in his fist. Alright, he said. We'll be back. He lifted up Maria with Kanan supporting her on the other side, began to head for the door. Then Kano called out to him.
Detective Tatano, I...
Love you too. There was a look of sadness on the younger man's face. Don't let yourself become a detective like me. Tatano had the words right on the tip of his tongue, but he swallowed them back down. It suddenly seemed petty to trivialize the aspirations Kano had held for so long. Once Maria is safe, I'll turn myself in. After he made sure that Maria got to the laboratory, he would cease to be a detective and instead would simply be a criminal.
In Japan, a charge of plotting to commit the crime of murder carries a prison term with labor of not more than 2 years.
But despite the failures that had brought him to the position, nothing had said up until now had been a lie. Of that much he could be proud. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. He could at least try to be the detective Kano had so admired until the very end. As Tatsuno left the room, Kano saluted him crisply. Oh my god, we chose correctly! Ordinarily, a detective wouldn't salute in plain clothes or without his cap. A little breach of etiquette just showed all the more clearly how Kano felt. I love you, sir! Thanks. I am cool. If Tatsuno hadn't been holding Maria up, he would have returned the gesture. Leaving Endo Electronics, Tatsuno and Kanan carried Maria up a hectic Dongazaka. The parking lot was less than a minute away by foot. Before long, however, they found their way blocked by a veritable wall of people. And traffic, probably. Hella traffic. Oh shit, here we go. It was a riot squad with Kuze at the head.
A riot squad is a police squad that carries out security and control activities in order to maintain or restore public order in the event of emergency. The Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department has 9 riot police units, along with a support vehicle unit, for a total of 10 such squads. These also comprise teams that carry out certain specific functions, such as the Explosive Ordnance Division and the Chemical Defense Unit.
Tatsuno, what are you planning on doing with that girl?
I think you're Dre.
Oh shit, Director Kuze!
Tateno, what are you planning on doing with that girl?
What are you planning on doing with her?
I already informed Kano that she's to be put under quarantine. If she's allowed to remain free, all of Shibuya will be in danger.
Kanan took a step forward. Oh shit,
Oh,
y'all
shit,
should
man.
back the fuck up!
Look at Tateno's face back there like,
Oh yeah, he's like, oh, I wouldn't fuck with that if I were you. Damn. I don't know, good sense. That she was about to move in for the kill. Oh shit. Easy now, he said softly. Wait. Just wait a little bit. As skilled as Kanan was, she was no match for an entire armed police squad.
Are
Or
you
is she?
sure? I'm not going to take all of them on.
She murmured.
I'm just going to take the man in charge hostage.
Oh shit. Tano swallowed. Capture Kuze and then run off? It could work. Considering the time limit they were facing, he knew that they had to find some way to force their way through here. Still, given how far they still had to go to reach the laboratory, he wanted to avoid direct conflict as much as possible. Give me 1 minute. No, just 30 seconds. Tano turned and stared at Kuze. The two had known each other since their rookie days. Director Kuze, tell me what it is you believe in.
What do I believe in?
Yes, weren't you always the one who said that you needed to put faith in your subordinates no matter what?
Well, yes, that's right.
Kuze's eyes wavered ever so slightly. In that case, put your faith in me. No, put your faith in Kano.
In Kano.
He believes that saving Mario Osawa will let us save Shibuya. He's doing everything he can to make that happen. Kuze's lips curled into a wry grin.
That sounds like Kano, alright. Always thinking in such simple terms.
I mean, yeah, YOLO. Usually the simple answer is the right one, sir. People like you and me overthink things. We make them more complicated than they need to be. Just consider for a moment, will putting Mario Osawa under quarantine clear up this case? No, it won't. So as long as we don't know how she was infected with the virus, we can't rule out the possibility that other people have been infected as well. Ano kept his eyes locked on Kuze's. Director Kuze, right now, what we need to do more than anything is get our hands on the antiviral drug. We need to be helping Kano. Please, sir. Kuze furrowed his brow and thought for a few moments, then he shook his head.
Tateno, buddy, come on. I can't do that. You gotta understand the position I'm in.
The director's voice squeaked into his childish register. Kaden narrowed her eyes.
What's this guy's deal?
It's hard to explain. But when his voice gets like that, it means...
Alright, is he being completely serious and we're going to need to break through by force? Or is he confused and we need to make a run for it?
I think he's being completely serious. Yeah.
So let's break through by force?
I guess so.
Oh, Kanan.
He was being completely serious. They were going to have to break through by force. Tatano took a determined step forward.
Ah!
Suddenly, Kuze let out a pained yelp. Oh no! Then, as Tatano watched in surprise, he proceeded to collapse onto the pavement.
Ah! It hurts! It hurts! Have I been infected with the virus too?
The riot squad immediately rushed to the director's side. As Tatano stood there, dumbstruck, Kuze secretively flashed him a knowing wink. That was
a
terrible.
terrible performance.
Kanan muttered. Yeah. But it was toward the force as far as I'm concerned. Inwardly, Tatano gave his boss a nod of respect. Damn, boy. Slipping past the
back.
Oh yeah. Slipping past the riot squad, he and Kanan headed up the parking lot. Yeet! Several members of Kuze team hurried to chase after them.
Don't follow them!
Kuze cried out as he ran in the ground.
Everyone stay back! If you get too close to Mario Osawa, you'll be infected as well!
The riot squad stopped in their tracks. Oh shit, he's right. Tatano and Kanan took the opportunity to hurry out of sight.
This is why we all need to wear our masks.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing a mask. Come on, guys. Darting through some narrow alleyways, he arrived at the parking lot. The area had been changed since Tatano's youth, but some of the old air of nostalgia still lingered. There it is! He spotted the minivan with Endo Electronics written on the side. Tatano gently laid Mario in the back seat. She was still apparently unconscious. Once Kanan had climbed into the passenger seat, Tatano hit the gas and sped off. Whee! Too bad we don't have a sexy cab driver.
I know.
How far
is it to the lab?
Kanan asked. Normally it would take about 15 minutes, but with this traffic, it's hard to say. Tatano avoided the stop and go of Dogonzaka, taking side streets as he headed towards Shibuya Station. Out of my way, pipsqueaks! Oh shit, here we go. It's happening. Once they had re-emerged on the main thoroughfare, however, he spotted a checkpoint up ahead. Barricades and armored vehicles were blocking the road. Damn it. Scale of security efforts showed us how grave the situation truly was. Tatano hit the brakes.
What do we do?
Kanan spoke without taking her eyes off the barricade ahead. Tatano thought for a few moments before arriving to an answer.
Alright, are we going to try to talk our way through? Are we going to try to find another way around? Or are we just going to run everyone's over? You don't want to get run over, get your ass out of the way.
Right. I mean, we're already a criminal. What's a few more years in prison gonna do now, you know? That's, plow them. Okay, we're gonna floor it.
Alright.
We're flooring it. They'd have to plow them through. And in the back seat, Tatano told Kanan,
Why?
I want you to hold on to Maria so she doesn't fall. Spicy grin came to Kanan's face.
You got it.
It's like, this is my kind of day. Kanan quickly clambered to the back and Tatano got the accelerator. It's a do or die now. Ah! Tatano clenched his teeth as the van picked up speed. Then a patrol car came roaring out nearby the side road. Shit. What the?
Uh-oh.
Flexibly, Tatano eased up on the gas. Police cruiser cut in front of the minivan, turning to head right towards the roadblock. Shit. Crashing onto the barricade, it plowed on through, not stopping until it skewed open to the curb beyond. Damn it. The car impact had made enough space for another vehicle to slip through in its wake. Alright, here goes! Whee! YOLO, bitches! The minivan barreled on through the checkpoint. No wonder who in the world had been driving that cruiser. Stanley? Tatano's phone rang and he picked up as he sped onward.
Were you able to break through safely?
It was the voice of Detective Kajiwada. Tateno had thought he was at the Osawa residence. That patrol car just now, that was you?
A call came in from the task force HQ, saying that Kano had found Maria. I figured maybe Kano was planning to take her to Okoshi Pharmaceutical, and so I thought he'd need to make his way through one of the checkpoints here. But the fact that it was you, Detective Tateno, now that was quite unexpected.
Let out a weak chuckle. Hajiwara, are you hurt?
No, don't worry about me. Just please help Maria. I made a promise to her father that I'd save his daughter, no matter what.
Ano could hear the energy draining from Kajiwara's voice. Understood. I'll keep that promise for you then.
Okay, our bestie can't die. Osawa
Yeah, what
doesn't
the
have
fuck?
literally any other friends.
Right. Who is gonna give him a banana every day now?
I know.
Damn.
Thank you.
The line went dead, and so did Kajiwara. No, I hope not. He'd crashed headlong through the barricade. There's no way he'd come out of that uninjured. I'm sorry, Kajiwara, Tateno said to himself under his breath. And thank you. He bit his lip, then stepped on the gas again. Whee!
Alright, we've hit a keep out for Tateno.
Someone will only have pretty honey. Sad.
I know, it's so sad. Okay, so let's see. We need to unlock this one. Actually, I guess maybe come on, open back up. I know. Very impressive. Blah 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 blah. Okay, so we can either do Stanley or we can do Kano.
Let's do a Stanley. Ooh, I'm excited to see it. It's a Stanley route.
Alright, the beer.
Only
We have our
bros get beers.
promise.
I guess.
Alright, and on to Stanley.
Ooh.
It was 6:00 p.m. Alfred had contacted the Motley team at Endo Electronics, and the situation had immediately deteriorated. But the new developments had also provided them with one big chance. A chance that Alfred might appear in person at long last. You did fine. Jack Stanley set his hand on Kano's shoulder. A weak smile came to the detective's face. Stanley paused, unexpectedly moved. For that one moment, he saw in Kano the image of his younger brother, Frank.
Jack, you have to get everyone to safe place, right? Wait, damn, I can read.
Frank's nervous shout echoed throughout the hotel lobby. Stanley's younger brother was a member of the Bomb and Arson Squad,
Oh no.
which is a subsection of the Chicago Police Department's Bureau of Investigative Services, BIS, that handles investigation of bomb and arson related cases.
Or like, yes.
This was 2 years ago. The CIA had obtained intel that Alfred was targeting a high-class hotel in Chicago for a terror attack. Stanley and his team had searched the hotel interior and had discovered the bomb set inside a large planter. When Frank arrived at the scene and saw the explosive, his expression grew grim.
The detonation trigger is set in the worst place possible place. Damn, it's going to be a bastard to take out.
In that case, you need to get out of here too, Frank, Stanley said.
No, I need to make sure I can figure out how this thing is set up so that the hospital unit knows what to do when they get here. It'll be alright. Look, you can probably see it from back there.
Stanley could indeed see the small explosive from where he stood. It was held in place by several screws. The timer had just ticked down past the 30-minute mark.
There's plenty of time left for the disposal guys to get here. Jack, I need you to help finish evacuating the building. There are a lot of people who haven't gone out yet.
But Stanley hesitated. From a cold and logical perspective, Frank was right. He had a job to do, and if Stanley listened to his personal feelings and tried to usher his brother out of there, a lot of innocent people might die.
Go on, brother.
All right, he said. I understand.
Bye, bro. Heck, if we had something as simple as some dry ice, we could just freeze this thing.
Frank grimaced as he eyed the bomb. Dry ice, huh? I don't suppose ice cream would do the trick.
And I oop. Y'all got a Dippin' Dots machine somewhere
Yeah,
in your
really.
pocket? Like, that'd be a waste of ice cream. You'd better just off eating it. Damn.
Of course, even dry ice would be a long shot in place of actual liquid nitrogen. The brothers looked at one another, and for a moment, the tension dissolved into laughter. All right, Stanley said. I'll be back.
With ice cream? Hey, Jack. Once this is all tidied up, I'm gonna need a drink. It's you and me have a beer together. Is this the only way y'all talk?
Yep.
Okay.
Sure, you got it. Stanley headed for the hotel lobby, which was still overflowing with guests.
Only talks in beer.
You made the right choice here. Stanley gave Kano a thump on the back, and the detective cracked a tiny grin. What about my choices, though? Debating his own next move, Stanley stepped away from the others and took out his cell phone. He made a call to his superior, Gordon.
Hey, Gordon.
It's me, he said.
Situation.
I hear the Japanese police want to put Maria Osawa under quarantine. I'm assuming that's on your orders, sir?
It is. There are too many important people in Shibuya. We can't allow that virus to get loose. Wow, I'm Texan now. Great. Besides, we know how that Alford is after Hitomi Osawa. There's no reason to leave Maria at large any longer.
If you put Maria Osawa under quarantine, she is going to die.
I know that, but there will be far fewer victims as a result.
Gordon's words made something inside Stanley snap. In that moment, he lost any inclination to report that he was with Maria. Failure to do so would be dereliction of duty on his part. He knew that well enough. He knew it, but the fact couldn't overcome his revulsion at Gordon's callous attitude towards Maria. Victims are still victims, he said.
What was that?
Nothing, sir. I'll continue my operation to apprehend Alfred. Stanley hung up the phone.
Hi, Jackie Poo.
Anyway.
He didn't care if his superiors took action against him once this was all over. They intended to sacrifice one person in order to save the lives of countless more. From a purely objective standpoint, it was the right call. But what if that person was a loved one? What would they have done then? The dilemma gnawed at the back of Stanley's mind. He couldn't shake the feeling that it was wrong to just accept the lesser of two evils, to sacrifice an innocent for the greater good. No, damn it. He would save that one life, and then save the lives of the many. He needed to find a way to avoid the so-called easy way out, no matter what it took.
Stanley's an MVP.
He wasn't about to add a second big regret to his life. Not this time. Saving Maria was the right thing to do. His judgment wasn't wrong, of that he was sure. He reaffirmed that to himself inwardly over and over. Stanley's a good dude. Kano was watching Tateno prepare to depart. The group had put together a reasonable plan of action. Tateno and Kanan would head to the lab with Maria and try to get the antiviral for her. Stanley would accompany Kano and the others to the Scramble to apprehend Alfred. It was a two-pronged plan of attack. Still, could they really count on things going as smoothly as Kanan had suggested? Stanley thought back on her earlier words.
Once Alfard has made contact with Hitomi, call my cell phone. I have plenty of information Alfard might want to bargain for. I can negotiate with him directly.
That meant that getting the password hinged on whatever deal they struck. What sort of things might Alfred request in exchange? Stanley cast a thoughtful look at Kanan.
Only green M&Ms.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that is his request, but
You never know.
she was helping Tateno to carry Maria out of the room. Stanley doubted she'd answer if he asked just what her bargaining chips were. He held his tongue, watching as she left with the others. Whatever else happened, he needed to focus on capturing Alfred. He glanced at the monitor displays in the workroom. The disembodied sound of Alfred's voice from earlier crept back into his mind. I will appear at the rendezvous in person. After all, it wouldn't make sense for the star of the show to miss the final curtain. Those words notwithstanding, it seemed absurd that Alfred would actually show up in the flesh. Nationality, age, sex, so much about the terrorist mastermind was shrouded in mystery. Why would someone who had hidden so well for so long ever reveal their true identity? And yet Alfred had gone out of the way to claim that was precisely what was about to happen. It almost seemed like he'd made turning up in person a major selling point of the deal. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you then. There was no doubt about it. Alfred wanted them to expect him on site and in person. So, why would that be? He's using himself as bait to lure me and Kanan out. This is a near-perfect opportunity to wipe out the two people who are gunning for him the most. That being the case, how might he attempt to kill me once I'm at the Scramble? Stanley felt a sudden flash of insight. No, something was off here. His thought process was running well, each deduction logically following from the last. But at a time like this, that could be a very dangerous thing. Alfred may well have anticipated where his logic would lead. Stanley needed to assume that any clue he had thought he'd found was something Alfred had left behind on purpose. So, maybe the suggestion that their target would come to the scene was a different kind of trap. At the risk of sending himself in circles, Stanley decided to rethink the whole case from the ground up. What was the single strangest part of this whole thing? There we go. Why had Alfred put an amateur like Daisuke Endo in charge of the kidnapping? Sure, being able to get a heart for his daughter gave Daisuke a strong incentive, but there still had to be a reason why he'd been chosen. If the kidnapping had failed, what would have happened then? Of course, this was Alfred they were dealing with. Maybe the possibility of failure was somehow part of the plan. Hell, Daisuke had managed to accidentally kidnap Maria instead of Hitomi, hadn't he? If Alfred had gone with a professional, that sort of mix-up would have never happened. And yet, even if that degree of uncertainty was acceptable, or even desirable, using Daisuke seemed like far too big a risk. There must be some other motive for bringing in Daisuke into the plan. Of course, advantage. Using Daisuke must have provided some important advantage that outweighed his flaws. It was the only thing that made sense. Which meant that the reason that Alfred had Daisuke carry out the kidnapping was it to create an alibi, to keep his true identity secret, or to carry out some other objective? Pop quiz!
Eh. That's a hard one. To create an alibi, I guess?
You want to go with that?
Yeah, alibi. Let's go with that.
To create an alibi. Even if Daisuke failed, as he had, and got caught up in the kidnapping investigation, Alfred himself could stay out of the picture. The police wouldn't have any reason to suspect Alfred in the first place. But then, why would someone whose very identity was so shrouded in mystery need to construct an alibi at all? Stanley felt like he was right back where he'd started. If Maria hadn't been mistaken for Hitomi in the first place, the situation wouldn't have become nearly so complicated. That was the thing that really made him wonder. Daisuke may have been an amateur, but would he really have made such a rudimentary mistake when his daughter's life was on the line? Stanley decided to take it up with the man himself. Mr. Endo, let me ask you something. Did you know Hitomi had a twin sister before the kidnapping?
I didn't, no.
So, when did you find out?
After I had Maria kidnapped. The organ trafficker took one look at her and said I had the wrong girl. Said I was supposed to have abducted the younger one.
He never mentioned Hitomi having a twin before this all started?
No. If I had known, I would have been a lot more careful.
Alfred had certainly known that the Osawa girls were twins, but despite the added risk that fact implied, he hadn't told Daisuke. There was only one logical conclusion. Daisuke's mistake hadn't been an accident. Alfred had intended for the wrong sister to get kidnapped. By using an amateur, Alfred had set up the police to write off Daisuke's kidnapping as the wrong target as a simple misstep. Had Daisuke been brought in simply in the name of camouflage? But why? Alfred was after Hitomi's blood. Daisuke was after Hitomi's heart. They both wanted the same thing, so why target Maria instead? Stanley's train of logic had run out of steam again. Still, he was sure he was on the right track. He just needed to keep following till he found out where that track would lead. Where's the storeroom where you were keeping Maria? He asked. Daisuke hung his head.
It's out behind the shop. Why you ask?
Would you mind showing me? There's something I'd like to check. At this point, he needed to go back over everything right from the beginning. He followed Daisuke out to the storeroom.
Speaking of the storeroom,
Daisuke said as they were walking to the back part of the building.
there's something I've been wondering about. Just how did Maria manage to escape in the first place?
You're certain you locked her in? Stanley asked. Daisuke nodded.
At 8 o'clock this morning, the organ trafficker came by to check up on her. I made sure to lock the place back up after he left.
I see. That visit must have been when Maria was injected with the WA virus. It makes sense based on our working timeline of when we expect her to go symptomatic. When they got to the storeroom, they spotted the padlock that had held it shut lying broken on the ground. Daisuke picked it up, then opened the storeroom door.
Ah, look at this mess.
It was obvious immediately that merchandise had been stolen,
I doubt Maria did this.
Daisuke said.
Maybe some thieves broke in?
He made a quick inspection, assessing what had been taken. Some digital cameras and laptop computers were missing.
This looks like the work of some local thugs. This kind of thing had happened to me a few times before.
Daisuke let out a sigh of exasperation.
Damn
Stanley,
teenagers.
meanwhile, was carefully looking around inside the storeroom. Where did you have Maria Osawa? He asked.
Behind those cardboard boxes.
The boxes he indicated were piled high, closing off one corner of the room. If Maria were unconscious behind them, the burglars might well have never noticed her. So, Maria was able to escape from the storeroom thanks to the burglars breaking the lock, Stanley mused. Just what impact had that stroke of misfortune had on Alfred's plan, he wondered. What did Alfred plan to do with Maria if nobody had broken in? Alright, was he going to kill her? Was he going to trade her for Hitomi? Or was he going to release her at some later time?
Release her at some later time, I guess? Since they were both symptomatic, right?
What do you mean, both?
Like, since they were both injected with it, technically, right?
So Hitomi's already been cured. That's the reason why
Oh.
Hitomi's blood is needed, because she's already been infected with the antiviral.
Huh.
He was going to release her at some later time. Since he'd gone to the trouble of infecting her with the virus, it only made sense. And Stanley could only think of one reason to release an infected Maria. To turn Shibuya into ground zero for a pandemic that would sweep through all of Tokyo. A virus with a mortality rate of 100% would have spread throughout the region before anyone even realized it. It would be impossible to even calculate the scope of such a disaster. First, it would run the circuit around the Yamanote line, then if any of the infected happened to head to the airports at either Haneda or Narita, the virus would spread throughout Japan and the rest of the world in a matter of hours. Give me just a second, guys. Sorry about that. I now have water.
Hydration check, y'all.
Hydration is
Please
good.
Drink your water.
First, it would run the circuit around the Yamanote line, and then, if any of the infected happened to head to the airports at either Haneda or Narita, the virus would spread throughout Japan and the rest of the world in a matter of hours. But that hadn't come to pass. They'd managed to secure Maria before she could have developed symptoms and become infectious. Is that because we were better than Alfred? No, that can't be it. Alfred wasn't the sort to commit such indiscriminate acts of terror. The threat of the infection spreading, horrific as it was likely just to cover and to hide some other scheme. But then, what was the ultimate goal? Stanley didn't have enough clues to go on.
He just likes to watch the world burn, that's all.
Stanley made his way behind the stack of cardboard boxes. He spotted something that had fallen on the floor. It was a cell phone. Next to it was a woman's handbag. Stanley unzipped it. It held a jumble of makeup, tissues, and other personal effects, but nothing at all unusual. If he was going to find any clothes here, it would probably have to be from the cell phone. He tried turning it on. There was no response. It appeared to be broken.
Let me see that.
Daisuke said from behind him.
I'll see if I can fix it.
Do you think you can? Stanley asked as he handed it over.
I won't know until I try. But that's a sign out front saying that I run an electronics shop. It isn't just for show.
Turning his attention back to the handbag, Stanley searched it more thoroughly and found a photograph tucked inside that he'd overlooked on his first inspection. What the hell? He stared at the image, swallowing the lump in his throat.
Probably Kanan and Mario.
And we have hit a keep out for him.
Oh, damn it. We don't get to find out right now. Damn.
I almost made it through.
I love that it's like Jack.
Yep, duck it.
Jack.
All right, so we are going to end here for tonight.
Yeah. It's a good place to stop.
It's a good place to stop. So next stream is Sunday. Normal time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. We will probably be playing 428 again. Just a guess. Shit is really going down, guys.
Yeah, this is cray. I'm scared.
But we will see you guys on Sunday. So wash your hands, wear a mask, be safe. Happy 3-day weekend to anyone in the U.S. Who gets 3-day weekends for this. I can never remember which holiday this actually is, but
Labor Day.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Labor Day to everyone.
Happy Labor Day.
And we'll see you guys on Sunday.
Yeah.
Have a good night, all.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, stay sassy.
Exactly. Make good choices. Bye.
Bye.